Amy and Stoney show on 97.1 The Ticket. The Tigers will play today, early, 12:35. You can hear the game right here on 97.1 The Ticket after splitting a double dip with the Pirates last night in Pittsburgh. Joining us now, as he does pretty much every week throughout the season from Pittsburgh, it is Tiger manager Ron Gardenhire on 97.1 The Ticket. Hey, Ron, good morning. How you doing?
I'm doing all right, walking to the ballpark as we speak.
Well, we appreciate you checking in. I'm wondering how you slept last night. You didn't get much of it. The first game had to be just an absolute thrill, the way you guys kept battling, but obviously it didn't end on a very nice note in game number 2.
Yeah, you know what? That's a long day.
Yeah.
As you said, we got home late last night and slept real quick and back at it with a 12:35 tonight. So first game was good. We hit the ball really well, banged it around pretty good, and picked up our pitching staff a little bit. Second game was going along pretty good till the last 3 innings or so. Then it kind of got away from us. Our pitching was absolutely beat up by them.
When you play a doubleheader, obviously, and you split, it's 1-1 no matter which way. Would you rather win the first or win the second?
The only way you can win 2 is win the first. So got to win that first one, and then you go from there.
You guys are 10-12. You're in second place in the division, and it's way too early to focus on standings, but I'm wondering, through the first month of the season, and it really has been 4 weeks since we were supposed to open up at Comerica Park, that game was rained out, like a lot of your games have been rained out. What you've learned about your team, because you've faced a lot of adverse conditions, and you know the way Stoney and I look at it, I don't want to speak for him, is you guys are hanging in there. You're hanging in there, and you're hanging in there. Have you learned something about your team? Are you impressed with the mettle that they've shown so far?
Yeah, you know what? They have a little attitude, and I like that. They we all heard everything that was talked about with this ball club, and they all talked about how, we weren't supposed to do this or that, but we have some pretty good players. We have some pretty good hitters. We know, our pitching staff, our starters, we got good arms, bullpen, it's a work in progress, but they're battling also. So, yeah, you know what, these guys, they got something going on. They root for each other, they pull hard, they push each other. That's all you can ask.
How concerned should fans be about Jordan Zimmerman and the start he's had?
Well, I guess, we got to see a little more out of him. I've said all along, sure would like to see him slow the ball down a little bit more, use his curveball more. And he's a veteran. He everything looks the same speed to me. It looks like the ball's cutting across the middle of the plate, and no one's more worried about it than himself. He's battling it, trying to figure it out. Like I said, talked to Boz again about using more curveballs and getting them off that fastball and cutter. So we'll see what happens. So far, he's been healthy. That's a good thing. Now we just need results.
We're talking to Ron Gardenhire on the Troy Laser Hotline. Tiger manager will take on the Pirates today. I was listening to some of the game on the radio last night, and Dan and Jim, and I'm not making excuses, but just we're speculating. Jordan pitched the ball really well down in Florida, and obviously has not pitched in anywhere close to those conditions here. Is it possible that once the weather does warm up, the grip will get a little bit better? And I know it's the same for everybody, but do you think, is that a consideration at all with him?
Well, I think you got to look at everything. He's a veteran, though. He's one of the guys that's been around and done this before. So
yeah.
He should be able to adjust probably better than anybody else. It's just about making pitches, really. I mean, you got to keep the ball out of the center of the plate. And like I said, you have to make the ball go up and down and change speeds. And right now I think he's kind of stuck in that, liking that cutter too much. And you know what? And that's just me watching. That's not talking with anybody else. I've expressed this to Boz about using the curveball more, and they've talked about it. But he likes to go at him, and I think that goes back from his power days when he used to throw 95, 96. And maybe he's in that little era where he needs to, realize he doesn't throw that way anymore, and he's got to, start tricking him a little bit.
When you look at the problems with the bullpen, obviously Jimenez has been real good. He had he finally gave up a run last night. Is there anything that you can do, Boz can do, to get these guys to, pitch a little better? Is that tempo as well?
Well, you know what? This is what we have. We're trying to work some of these guys. Jimenez has been good, and Graney's fine. And some of the other guys, have their moments. It's all about consistency, and that's kind of what we're asking. But if you've watched enough of it this year, because of the weather and everything else, we're using a lot of bullpen. And, they need to rest And if we start pressing them too much, which we have been, then it's going to be issues, get more, more issues. So we got to get deeper in the game as we go along with our starters and limit to them to how much work they're going to have, the load, and try to pick out moments for them that are best suited for them, and that's hard to do right now.
Jacoby Jones is playing some really good baseball right in the last week or so. You look at it and say, all right, this is what we expect from him, or is it like an aberration? He's still a young player. We have to wait and see.
Well, I think there's going to be fluctuations, but I still think that, he's kind of figured something out. I really believe that he's figured something out. He's letting the ball travel a lot farther. He'll still take some of those wild swings where he jumps out and tries to get the breaking ball, but for the most part, he's letting the ball travel, and you've seen him really get a lot of really big hits for us, and he's confident to everything in this game.
Yeah, the common thing I'm seeing with Jones and Candelario and Castellanos, the three maybe hottest hitters in your lineup right now, not named Miguel Cabrera, is even when they're making outs, they are hitting the ball hard. I mean, they all seem very locked in.
Yeah, they're pushing each other, like I said, and they're cheering for each other, and they're confident offensively. I think we feel pretty confident right now. We run in some good pitchers every once in a while that can shut anybody down. We're facing one today, Nova. He's pretty good. So, but we'll see. I think the guys are confident. I think the guys you just talked about are feeling good about themselves. We just got to get through stinking weather.
Yeah.
And hopefully we can get consistent work outside and do those things to where everything is starting to calming down a little bit. It seems like kind of a whirlwind right now with all this weather going on.
And in some ways, going back to, maybe I'm repeating myself, but with everything you just said, the fact that you guys have fought through that and are now just 2 games under 500, I don't know. I just feel like you got to feel pretty good about things, even though you're not winning more than you're losing. But based on everything you faced versus all the other teams versus Major League Baseball, it really is quite something.
Yeah, I agree. I think that I'm pretty happy with these guys. I think the atmosphere is fantastic in the clubhouse. The coaching staff's doing a great job. And like I said, the players bring it every day. Even though we're a couple games under 500, we've had to deal with a lot of setbacks with weather, the whole package, and it hasn't got them down. And hopefully to continue, the big thing is to get to that 500 mark and then climb over the top of it and never look back. So that's what we want to do.
Obviously, playing in a National League ballpark, you can't use Victor except for pinch hitting. We were talking in the office. Could he play first base in an emergency again?
Nah, I just don't think his knees are going to let him do that. He takes a few ground balls over at third base, and sometimes at first base, but that's stretching it, in my opinion. He hasn't really said too much about that, and I don't really want to push that issue too awful much.
Speaking of the DH, I'm just curious. You played in the National League, managed in the American League. Should we have one rule, or do you like it the way it is?
Well, I said my opinion on this. If you're going to do it, I think, the talk was, I think if you're going to do it, you change it up and you have the, pitchers hit in our ballpark at home in the American League, and you, when we play a National League team, and then vice versa, use the DH here like here in Pittsburgh, just so the fans get a look at the other side. I've said that all along.
Hey, we're talking to Ron Gardenhire. Ron, you have so much going on at the Major League level. I'm curious how much info you get on your minor league guys. Obviously, some of the young pitchers in the organization have had fantastic starts. Do you concern yourself with that, or do you try to stay locked in on your guys?
I read it. We get a report every day on my computer. I go through it and look at the box scores and what they're saying about each guy. I have to really focus on this ball club more than anything else.
Yeah.
And keep us on the right track. But I read it. I get it every day and go through it, check out game reports and who's doing what, look up certain guys that I'm kind of interested in right now. Matuk, see how he's doing, guys like that.
Now, the big story nationally today is the NFL draft, and I'm doing some research, and I find that in 1979, Ron Gardenhire was drafted in the 6th round by the New York Mets. Also in the 6th round, Harold Reynolds, Greg Gagne drafted. What was draft day 1979 like for you?
We were in the College World Series. I was actually playing out on the field in the College World Series in Omaha with the Longhorns, and come running off the field, and somebody yelled out, 6th round. So saw my dad sitting up there, yelled at him, 6th round by the Mets, and he said, good, you can finally pay back some money you owe me.
Yeah.
So there you go.
Now, to piggyback on that, I'm not going to ask you who the Lions should take at number 20 because you have more important things to worry about. But Along those lines, do you try to, I don't know, keep the players focused on other things than baseball? It's such a long grind. I mean, I know you talked about the NCAA tournament during spring training. Is that banter go around the clubhouse, or is it all about baseball all the time?
No, it's a constant. It's a constant with those guys. They're into everything. They got so much time in the clubhouse. They watch all the sports. They love it, basketball, hockey, the whole package. So they're always watching and talking about it. I'm sure they've got some kind of little pool somewhere in the clubhouse.
All right. Hey, Ron, good luck today. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the walk to the ballpark. Anybody honk their horn at you or anything?
No, but you tell I'm breathing hard.
You've been walking and talking. We appreciate that.
Holy cow.
All right. Hopefully you get to sit on the bench all day and not have to come out to the mound. So we'll let you rest
That'd be
there.
a wonderful thing.
All right. Thanks, Ron.
Guys.
Ron Gardenhire joining us from Pittsburgh. Again, 12:35. Fulmer against Nova, Tigers, and the Bucks.
Hey, Jamie.
Yeah.
I'm looking at this 1979 draft.
Oh, get the shot.
I got a great well, hold on. I got a great trivia question for you. The third pick in the 1979 draft was an NFL quarterback. Who would that have been?
Third pick, 79?
Mm-hmm.
Elway?
Nope.
Give a sec.
I know you're. Here's other people that were drafted in the first round of 1979. Tim Leary, Andy Van Slyke, Steve Buechele, Tim Wallach. The Tigers took Rick Leach in that draft.
Oh, Ricky Leach.
Former Tiger Jerry Don Gleaton was selected in the first round, along with former Michigan pitcher and Los Angeles Dodger, the late but great Steve Howe.
Oh, yeah.
Mm-hmm. Atlee Hammaker.
Atlee Hammaker was not an NFL quarterback.
No, I know.
That's coming to
Dan
mind.
McGuire?
Nope.
Who?
That was way.
Jay Schrader was the third pick of the Toronto Blue
Jay
Jays.
Schrader.
Yes.
Did he ever play minor league baseball or anything?
I think he did, yeah.